Hello and welcome to today's demo on tracking and analytics within Lob. So every mail piece you send with Lob is going to be tracked all the way from the time that you send it through to when it hits the mailbox. So we're going to walk through what each step of that journey looks like and how to get some of that data out of Lob and into your own dashboards and databases. So to start with, every single mail piece that you send with Lob is going to get tracked down to an individual mail piece level. That means you're going to be able to find the current status of any single individual mail piece that you send. So to follow a mail piece on its journey, first Lob is going to receive the request to create the mail piece. With that, we're going to create a mail piece record that's going to store all of the images of that mail piece, any metadata associated with that mail piece, etc. Once that record is created, this mail piece ID is going to be something that you can use to pull back the status of this exact mail piece at any time. Once it's gone through funding hold, it'll be sent through for production. So this is when it gets routed off to a print facility to get printed and handed off to the USPS. From there, when the USPS takes custody, Lob is going to track when that piece has been mailed, is flagged as in transit, and finally, this final scan that the USPS does before they put it on the truck to be taken out and delivered, when that mail piece is processed for delivery. We're also actually tracking a delivered step as well. So Lob is pulling GPS information in from USPS mail trucks. So when the mail truck leaves the area of the mailbox, we're going to capture an assumed delivered event as well. So now you have visibility into where that mail piece is at any time during its journey. We also have a broader analytics dashboard that lets you take a look at a subset of your mail and get a status update across that entire batch of mail. So the first report you see here is the tracking events report. So I can filter for any batch or subset of my mail and understand at a high level what percentage of those pieces have been sent, have reached the mailed stage, have reached the in-transit stage, processed for delivery, etc. You're also going to see that Lob is tracking when something has been rerouted or returned to sender. So no need to wait for those to come back to your own mailbox. You can actually capture those as tracking events within Lob. We also have an engagement report. So this can tell you things like QR code scans, people visiting the unique URL that you created within Lob, or if you're sending with informed delivery, the number of people who received your informed delivery emails, opened those emails, and even clicked through. One note on QR codes. With Lob, you're able to generate a unique QR code for every single mail piece you send. So even if all those QR codes have the same landing page, Lob is going to track which individual mail piece was scanned. So that means that you have essentially one-to-one tracking on QR code scans for your mail pieces that you can tie back to, the specific mail piece that was interacted with. The mail speed report is going to tell you the average number of business days that your mail takes, and you can see a nice little distribution here of when those mail pieces are hitting from the time you send. Again, you can filter this by subset of your mail, whatever it may be, to get an understanding of when you need to send your mail in order to have the majority of it land on specific days. And then finally, mail distribution is a report that can give you the relative speed of your mail by state. Spoiler alert, you will not see big differences on a state-by-state level within Lob because our print delivery network is distributed. So, all of this data exists within Lob, obviously, as I've shown you, but there are also ways to get this data out of Lob and back into your own systems. First and foremost is via the API. You can always take those mail piece IDs and retrieve data from our API to pull back into your own systems. You can also export tracking events from within Lob. So you can filter, again, for any subset of your mail, however you've tagged it with metadata, and then run an export of all the tracking events down to an individual mail piece level to export into a CSV. Or the most automated way that you can handle getting data out of Lob and back into your own databases, business intelligence tools, etc., is by leveraging webhooks. So you can give Lob a URL to send messages to, And then we can send through messages on any tracking event that occurs for your mail piece. So if you want Lob to send you a notification every time a postcard is delivered, for example, or every time somebody scans a QR code on a postcard, Lob can, at the time that event occurs, pass through a tracking event into your own system that you can use to incorporate your direct mail data into a broader, multi-channel campaign with touch points across, email and SMS and digital and whatever else you're using. Or just pull these tracking events into your own dashboards and your own UIs so you don't have to come into Lob to see where your mail is at a given time. So with all of that, as you can see, it's very easy to track your mail in Lob either at a broad level across a large batch of your mail, or get a status update down to an individual mail piece level. Hopefully this helps you think about direct mail analytics in a bigger picture way, because now you have tracking events like QR code scans, for example, because these touch points can now feature in whatever type of attribution model you're running. So if it's looking at, multi-touch journey, you can incorporate mail piece delivery, you can incorporate QR code scans. If you're looking at the last touch, you can actually pull in the specific date that somebody received the mail piece. So the idea here is that even though direct mail is a physical channel that you're physically putting a piece of material into somebody's hand, these tracking events can now be pulled back into a more digital world. So hopefully that was useful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your Lob representative, and we'd love to help you get started tracking your mail. Thank you.